Hey guys, this is Tom from Numbers Game Lifestyle, and today we're going to be discussing why you will often see Chads with very average women or women that are considerably less attractive than they are. And you'll see like, oh, Chads get all the women, they've got it so easy. But why do you see so many of them with very average women, very normal, average women that you wouldn't really think that Chads would do better than? Like, he should be like doing better than that. Why is he like with an average chick? And we're going to answer that question. Because there's a lot more than just looks that determine your whole dating success, your dating options. And the more dating options you have, the higher the likelihood that you're going to be dating very attractive women if you have lots of options. Okay, and this is what very few guys don't really achieve. You'll find guys that date a very attractive girl once in a blue moon, or they get an attractive girlfriend once in a lifetime, but they never end up repeating that process. And the whole time, the whole lives, they're going looking back at the glory days where they had that chance with that one attractive girl. No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about luck. We're talking about repeatable results over and over again. You consistently dating very attractive women and dating them, hooking up with them, having relationships with them. Okay, this is what like all the Chads should be able to do this, but it's not a reality. Why is that not a reality? It's so easy for them, right? That's what the black pill guys will say. I wish I was Chad. I'd have it so easy. Okay, we're going to see that. We're going to really find out if you really became a Chad, would you really have it that easy? No, because every guy, doesn't matter if it's Chad, whoever he is going to have to put in a lot of work to date, sleep with, have a lot of options in the dating scene. Okay, so let's get into the factors that determine your dating options, how many dating options you have. Okay, so let's start off with point number 4. This is going to be the least most important, but a lot of guys think that this is a really big deal, make or break thing. Status / money, whatever you want to call it. This is what guys will often think, like, if you want to date attractive women, you gotta have status, you gotta have money. Couldn't be further from the truth. This is only really applicable to women that are looking for husbands. Then this becomes very important. Your money / your financial stability, your status, it all becomes exceedingly important. It becomes like reason number 1, okay? But if we're talking about dating, hooking up, relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, this doesn't come into play until women are looking to get married, usually in their like 30s. Then this money situation is going to be like priority number 1. They're looking to settle down and secure the bag, okay? If you're not after these women, this is very low priority for most women. What's the third one? Balls. Okay? If you want to sleep with a lot of women, it's going to take balls, okay? It's up to you to talk to women, initiate conversations, which means taking risks. It's up to you to ask women out, which means taking risks, rejection, potential rejection. If you invite a girl out on a date, it's going to be you that has to do that, has the balls to do that. It's going to be you that's going to have to touch her. Move the interaction forward to the bedroom. That's going to take balls. You initiating intimacy, it's going to take balls, okay? But here's the thing. If you have balls enough to do all those things, ask women out, start a conversation, invite them home, and touch them, escalate things when they're back at your place, then that is pretty much the epitome, that is much the benchmark of how important your balls are. At that point, you really don't get any extra points for being more confident or anything like that. As long as you're able to do those things ask those questions and lead the interaction forward, you have enough balls. You've got that covered. Now, what I mean by balls is if you're willing to approach more women, take those risks, ask women out that you don't know, yes, you dramatically increase your dating options by doing that, as opposed to a guy that never asks any women out. He's just going to sit at home or, hope that women do the work for him, that start a conversation and ask him out, ask for his phone number, invite him out, take him back to her place. Yeah, you're going to be waiting a long time for that to happen to you. So yes, if you have bigger balls and you're willing to take risks, you will have more dating options. What's the second one most important? Surprise. It's looks. Okay, it's not the most important, but it's a close second. Okay? This determines how many women find you physically attractive. Okay? And it's just the same with men, just the same with women. They're going to look at you in that split second and realize, am I physically attracted to this person? And then all it takes is like 1 second, and like, could I see myself sleeping with this one? And they know, women know, guys know. It's the same thing. So yes, looks are very important. It determines a lot of your dating success. The better you look, the more options you have available to you. More women will find you attractive and give you a chance to date, hook up, or have a relationship with. So yes, looks are very important and they should be prioritized in most cases. But what could possibly be more important than your looks? Well, let's get into that. The first and most important part out of all this that determines all of your dating options is your exposure to women. How many women actually see you, whether that be in person or on a phone screen or on a TV, on any type of screen, do they lay eyes on you? Because without this, without a woman ever seeing you, you don't even exist. You are completely, doesn't matter if you have 10 out of 10 looks, 10 out of 10 balls, 10 out of 10 money. No one knows you. No one sees you. No one even knows you exist. So, of course, exposure trumps all. Women have to see you in real life, person to person or on a screen to be like, oh, okay, who's this guy? I'm attracted to him. Okay, because you could even have very subpar looks, very subpar balls, very subpar money, but if millions of women see you, there's going to be a small percentage of those women, hundreds, maybe thousands of women that will be like, man, who is this guy? Like, I want to get to know him. She's sexually attracted to him because the exposure is so great. Millions. Okay, maybe only 1% of them finds him attractive, but that 1% of 1 million ends up being a big number. Okay, this is why exposure trumps everything. And this is exactly why you will see chads with women that are considerably less attractive than they are. Because they have low dating options, because of low exposure to women. Low exposure to attractive women. If Chad doesn't see any attractive women, day-to-day life, chances are he will never end up, getting with one, hooking up with one, getting in a relationship with one. So yes, this is what determines the vast majority of your dating results, your dating options. Okay, so when we look at this, consistently dating attractive women takes work and effort. Okay, this is as much as the black pill guys want to say, you just have to be good looking, and then all these women start chasing you and jumping on your D. Okay, not how it works. I've known plenty of chads in my entire life, friends with chads growing up my entire life. And the guys that got laid, they had their looks covered, they had their balls covered, and they put themselves in situations where they had high exposure to women. Often they would get jobs as bartenders or waiters to put themselves in an environment where there's lots of attractive women. And yes, they would, eventually land up with these chicks. I actually knew a Chad growing up who, after graduation, he went to college and joined the Cheerleading squad as like the male cheerleader. He was willing to go through all of that crap just to put himself in an environment with cheerleaders. And yes, he ended up hooking up with a bunch of them. But that's the thing. He was willing to put in the work and effort to make that a reality. And no guy escapes this. Every guy has to put in work if they want to consistently date very attractive women. Doesn't matter who you are. Okay, so how do you get this type of abundance? Okay, there's a number of ways. How do you increase your exposure? How do you get hot girl abundance where it's not like this, one in a million thing? It's something you can continually repeat over and over again. Let's see what you have to do, okay? You can pick and choose which kind of things you want to focus on. This is what it's going to take. Okay? Cold approach. Okay, this is often going to be, you have to have your balls on this one to approach women that you don't know and talk to them and, start a conversation. And often, this is not a viable option for most men because their whole daily routine never sees them looking at attractive women. I've had times in my life where I'm working around majority of men, very little women around. You're commuting to work, driving in your car. You go to a gym where it's majority men. Like everywhere you go, it's majority of men. You very rarely see any attractive women ever. So when that opportunity comes and you get that one in a million shot where this, attractive girl's in the grocery aisle and you're like, this is my one shot. I gotta make this work. Of course, you're gonna not shoot your shot. You're gonna totally puss out and you're gonna be like, oh, maybe next time I'll let this one go. But yeah, next time I'll get her. Next time I'll make the approach. And that's what happens. The anxiety builds up so much because attractive women are so scarce to you. And in order to overcome that, you have to change your daily routine to put yourself in environments where these women are no longer scarce. They're no longer a scarce resource to you because you can see them every day. Every day of the week, you go out and you see attractive women. But that only happens once you've changed your daily routine. Okay? However that is, often guys, in the past, what I did was take public transit, and this definitely put me around a lot more women, and a lot more women I could see during the day, which helped tremendously in my cold approach adventures. Okay, another thing you can do is go, shopping, grocery shopping continually, pretty much every day to the same grocery store, and try to go at busy times when there's going to be lots of people around. Same thing at the gym. You want to go at the gym where it's busy and there's women around. Okay, everything that you do kind of has to be catered to be being around environments where there's going to be a lot of women around, a lot of people milling about. Because every day, you're going to get that opportunity. The more people that are around, the faster you can get and find an attractive woman to talk to, or potentially she looks at you twice, or maintains eye contact and gives you a green light to approach her. Okay, this is all that happens, when you're out of the house, putting yourselves in environments where this can happen, and then seizing those environments. Okay, and this is going to take balls to do. It's going to take time for you to get used to doing that. As soon as you made that approach, then it's pretty much all downhill from there. Your anxiety decreases significantly. What else can you do? Online dating. Okay, I get a lot of hate on online dating. Guys are like, I don't want to do online dating. It's such a waste of time. It doesn't compare to cold approach. Okay, in my experience, the majority of guys that I've helped, online dating is really where guys separate themselves. They get laid faster with just as attractive women that they do from cold approach, sometimes even more attractive. And it's way easier, way more efficient. They get laid way more often, way quicker by focusing in on online dating because their exposure is so much higher. Okay? When you do online dating, you are going to be spending money. And what does that money do? A lot of these apps are pay to win, but that money you spend, money that you give to these apps for a premium membership or to boost your profile, is to give you more exposure to women. It'll send you out to hundreds, thousands of women to, look at your profile and then choose, like, am I attracted to this guy? Okay, that is what this thing is. There is massive, massive amounts of exposure, which is what you're paying for when you use online dating. It far trumps cold approach by night game, everything. Okay, because the exposure is so much higher. You are paying these apps for exposure, and you are spending money, usually on a like professional photographer to take pictures of you and make sure your pictures are good. Make sure your pictures like absolutely smash the other guys. So when you see chads that are struggling with online dating, often it's because they just grab their own like cell phone and they snapped a few pictures, the few pictures that their friends have taken of them, and they think they're good. Okay? Not gonna happen. You're gonna get totally smashed by guys that are less attractive than you with very good pictures that have put the time and effort into maximizing their profile. Once this is done though, once the profile is done and you're buying the premium membership of whatever app you choose, Hinge, Tinder, whatever it is, then it's easy street. Then you have massive amounts of exposure. You're exposed to thousands of women, and all of these women potentially want to meet you. Okay? It's not like they're like married or in relationships. If they got Tinder, there's a chance that they're there to like find a guy, whether that be to hook up with him or get a new boyfriend or anything like that. So yes, these apps are very efficient at doing what they're supposed to do. And yes, in order for them to work, you have to maximize your profile. Okay, and that's what I help guys do in my coaching program, as well as cold approach. But there's other things you can do as well. You can move to a different location. Move to a more population dense environment. I don't know which guys, like there's a lot of guys out there that probably you don't live in a big city. You don't live downtown in a big city because you probably wouldn't even watch this video. You'd be like too busy dating and getting laid to even watch these videos. That's how important population density is. It puts everything on easy mode. Okay, the more population dense your environment is, the easier everything gets because the higher exposure you get. More women see you. You get more opportunities. Okay, because women will be checking you out. More eyes are on you. More women see you. They can initiate interest by looking at you, staring at you, giving hints that you should have talked to them. But if you're not doing that, if you live out in the suburbs or in the country, in small little towns where you rarely see like attractive women, this will never happen. Okay, this is why it's very important. If you live in some, tiny ass town, you have to move. You have to move to the most population dense environment that you can possibly get to, that you can afford. Because yes, the more population dense it is, the more expensive it is going to be to live in as well. What you can do is try to find like poorer parts of cities to, live in, rent in. That's what I did. I found like a very central location that's kind of in a, let's say, a dumpier part of town, but there's still plenty of options because I'm in such a dense environment, and I can pick and choose from women from all the other like surrounding cities. It's very convenient that way. Okay, so moving to a population dense city environment, definitely it's putting the game on easy mode. Okay, whenever you're out in a population sparse environment, you're gonna have like a dearth of attractive women. It's gonna be very tough for you. Maybe maybe impossible for you. Okay, another thing that I've seen guys do, change jobs or hobbies. I mean, this is what I've seen like my friends do, getting jobs that put them around attractive women, like getting waiter jobs or, bartending jobs. And sure enough, they'll often end up with a hot waitress as a girlfriend. Okay, same thing with hobbies. You can do all different hobbies, just like the other guy did. Join the cheerleading squad. All of this stuff works, provided you, have your looks in a decent order as well. But again, changing your jobs for, getting with women, you have to really like the job, okay? Because let's say I've seen this happen a lot, where a bartender will, he's finally graduated university, and so he moves into his accounting job or his engineering job, and all of his options for women dry up. He's got no more exposure, so his options completely shrink up to zero. And he's left wondering, like, what happened? Like, I used to have it so easy. What happened? What's the difference? The difference is exposure. Okay? So do not rely on your job or your hobby only for exposure. Last but certainly not least, improving looks and style. Okay? This goes, because it's the second most important. If you've got exposure handled, if you got like massive amounts of exposure, then looks comes in the second. Okay? You have to maximize that as well. You know, you maximize your style, you maximize your body, your haircut, your facial hair. It all comes into play, and it's all easily within your control. Yes, changes in your muscle mass are going to take time, but changes in body fat really have no one has an excuse to say like, oh, I don't want to get that lean, or I can't get that lean. Absolutely you can. Anybody can. Just track what you eat and eat less of it, or move more. Okay, you have to put in work to accomplish this, but the results are drastic. Okay, you can change people that, I don't know how many times I've seen guys that, you know, at 20% body fat, when they get down to 10, it's like a completely different person. Their faces are chiseled, their body's chiseled, everything changes. Okay, so there's a lot of things within your control. Your fashion, your facial hair, your haircut, everything comes into play to determine, you know, how attractive you are to the opposite sex. So yes, you can never go wrong with improving your looks and style. But priority number one should always be exposure, because that is the make or break step. More important than anything in this. And that is what I help guys do. There's coaching links down below if you are interested. I go through guys and make sure that I maximize their exposure, and I maximize their looks, and I maximize their balls if they need that. If they're not approaching now, I make sure that they do. They get over that hump, that approach anxiety hump. So once you get all these things covered, they don't have to be 10 out of 10. It doesn't have to be 10 out of 10 exposure. It doesn't have to be 10 out of 10 looks. It doesn't have to be 10 out of 10 balls. It doesn't have to be 10 out of 10 money. But if you more you improve those things, the easier and more broad your dating options gets, and everything gets exceedingly more fun. Okay, dating should be fun. Finding women to hook up with, have relationships with, finding a wife, it should all be fun. Okay, this is what happens once you get to that abundance level, and dating becomes very easy for you. And that is exactly what I help guys do. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Thank you for watching.